All right. So, Mr. Samuel Green, suppose that there's a world, there's a domain in which there's exactly one apple. There's only one apple. We count one apple. Follow? All right.
Yes.
I say X truly is an apple. Y truly is an apple. Would I be correct in saying X necessarily then is Y?
Yes, you would.
I'll be correct, right?
You would. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, good. So X is Y in that view.
In that universe, yeah, absolutely.
All right, good. Let's change the variables. There's exactly one
Well,
God.
no, but hang on. You're not asking. Okay, you're not asking me a question.
I'm asking
because
a question.
I would say, how valid is it to use an apple to represent God's nature? Anyway, we'll keep going.
It's valid because it's the same counting method for apples and for gods. We don't count different when it comes to God. We count the same way we count apples, count oranges, whatever. So that's just a red herring. That's tangential to my argument. So you said it's valid in a domain where there is exactly one apple. If X is an apple and Y is an apple, and I say X is not Y, what would that mean?
Well, that would be an incoherent statement.
Right. Either we would have two apples, which would contradict the assertion that there's one apple, or we would reject the counting method, right? We would reject the classical counting method.
Yes. Yeah. That's
Good.
right.
If we were to change the variables to God, would that still follow?
No.
Why wouldn't it follow? What's the symmetry?
Well, because of what I keep saying, that God exists in a completely different realm to us, in a completely different state to us. And
how does that change the counting method?
Well, hang on, let me answer. So the biblical view is that God exists in eternity, and he doesn't exist in time and space. He is all present through things by his Spirit, but he has a distinct uncreated nature. God has a distinct uncreated nature. And because he's got a distinct uncreated nature, we have to listen to what God says about himself and how God reveals himself. Okay. And so we just can't take what's true of created natures and apply them to God, because they're of a different nature. There's a massive assumption that you're bringing to this when you're just asserting these claims that what's true here is true of God. I'm saying, how do you know that?
All right. So just to be clear, when it comes to God, we shouldn't count using the classical counting method, correct?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we're counting according to the persons.
All right. Do we count gods using the classical counting method? Yes or no?
Do we count gods if we were talking about a polytheistic system? Yeah.
No. It has nothing to do. No. This is a universal statement or a general statement. If we were to count the term God, this count noun, right? Would we count the same way or in a different way?
Well, do you mean God in terms of identity or in terms of a description?
Either or is fine.
Oh, well, if it's in terms of identity, and I brought this up in my second point, where I said Christians are not using the word God in terms of identity.
That's fine. You're saying that's fine. You said it's an is of predication. There is X is divine, is God.
Yes.
Y is divine. How many gods would we count?
Well, it depends on that nature. And in this case, we're saying those three distinct persons share the one nature.
Okay, so you're not answering. When it comes
to I am answering it.
I'll tell you how you're not. When it comes to counting the term, this type, because we count, remember, the two axioms for counting is that we count on the same type, the same count noun, and we count based on discernibility, if they're truly distinct. Here, the persons are truly God and they're truly distinct. So they fulfill and satisfy both of our axioms. If we were to count God, yes or no, do we use the same counting method?
Okay, first of all, they're not distinct in the way that you're suggesting. So they're not like Peter, Paul, and Mary, whatever.
It doesn't matter. It's tangential.
No, it does. No, let me answer it. They are not distinct in the way that you're saying. The Father begets the Son, so there's an eternal relationship there. the Father breathes out the Spirit through the Son. So there's a relationship there. So they're not distinct in the way that you're saying. And again, you can't take what's true of a human nature and apply it to God, which you just keep doing that. You keep taking created natures and saying God needs to be like this.
Sounds good. So you didn't answer the question. How they're distinct doesn't matter, because the classical counting method takes into account any distinction. As long as there is a distinction, the counting method follows, correct?
No, absolutely. No, and I agree with that.
Good. Thank you. So how they're distinct doesn't matter. So again, one last time, please answer, be honest. If we were to count God by the way we usually count things, by the classical method, would we, in our human counting, count 3 gods?
If we were to count God in terms of the God nature, we'd say there's one God.
That's not how we count. I said the classical counting method.
No, we count 3 persons who share in the one divine nature.
Right. You know you're not answering, but it's okay.
No, I am answering it. You keep wanting to divide the nature when I'm saying that's not what's revealed about God.
It's fine. It's fine. All right. So for the multiple essences argument, do you agree that an essence is a set of essential properties?
Yes. Yeah. So we would say that the will and knowledge and those things are part of the divine nature.
Good. Fantastic. Does the Father have an essential property that the Son doesn't have?
We would say that the Son, so in Christian theology, we say that the Son is everything of the Father except for being the Father. So we say it is just a personal distinction here.
I didn't ask that. I said, is there an essential property that the Father has that the Son doesn't have?
I'd say there's an essential personal property, but not an essential divine.
Good. That's fine.
No, hang on. Yeah. So I would say that the Father is not the Son. The Son is not the Spirit. There is a distinction between those persons, but they all share the one divine nature.
I'm not talking about that.
Of the nature, it's the one nature that is shared. Yep.
Not talking about that. Whether it's, as you say, hypostatically essential, or whether it's essential in respect to the divine nature, fine, no problem, granted. All right? Does the Father have an essential property, in whatever way that it's essential, that the Son doesn't have?
I would say in terms of being the begetter.
All right, good. So then you would agree, but analytically, the Father and the Son have different essential properties.
Not in terms of the divine nature, but in terms of their personal properties.
Good. So then the Father has an individual essence that's distinct from the Son's individual essence, correct?
No, we're not making that. You've conflated person and nature. You've conflated person and nature.
Let's try this again. The Father has a set of essential properties that the Son doesn't, right?
No, he has a set of personal properties that the Son doesn't.
Yeah, those are essential, right?
Well, they're part of who he is as a person,
right.
Yes.
So all right, essential. So he has a set of essential properties that the Son doesn't have, correct?
Sorry, I thought when you were saying essential, you meant in terms of essence and nature.
No. You're not getting it.
That's not what you mean. How are you using the word essential?